What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Up for Debate. I was thinking about it today. It is already season 3, episode 15, and we're having a ton of fun. I'm here with my awesome two co-hosts. Today's May 30th, the start of the NBA Finals. Viv the Vikes fan, how we doing tonight?
Amazing. If any of you guys saw the Up for Debate story on TikTok, I said like in the middle of the Celtics Heat game that I'd shave my beard if the Celtics choked, and thankfully they didn't choke. Thank you, Celtics. I'm rooting for y'all to win it all. And of course, I'm in Jalen Brown went to high school. Up in my high school right now. We're in high school. And so I'm rocking with them. I can already see Jay with his Warriors gears on, so I'll hand it off to you. Jay. How we doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good. Hey, I got something for you too, Viv. People on TikTok said I might put it on TikTok, but if the Warriors choke in this finals, I'll shave my beard, whatever I got here, my little whatever I got. I'll shave it all the way off.
Real quick, I don't know if it's coming up on your side too, Jay, but if you want to move a little bit closer, Viv, it was a little bit hard to hear you there in the beginning. You were fine towards the end, but just keep an eye on that. But we should be fine anyway. Moving on though, like Viv was just talking about, we got a Celtics Warriors final. I mean, I know who you're rocking out with, Viv, but you want to tell us a little bit more about why?
Of course. I'm a Jalen Brown fan. He went to my high school. He actually graduated. I entered high school in 2016. I'm a class of 2020. But he graduated I want to say 2015. And then went to Cal for a year, and then got drafted third overall by the Celtics. Should have gone. I mean, he ended up as the best player from that draft. He's better than Ben Simmons. He's better than Brandon Ingram. But he got drafted third overall to the great organization from Boston. Then they drafted Jason Tatum, player who I really, really love. I think that this keep Jason Tatum that we're seeing in terms of scoring, not just scoring, but also playmaking and defense. He's turned into an elite playmaker, all NBA level defender. So I really like this Celtics. I love their role players. I love Marcus Smart, Al Horford. I love Robert Williams. I love Grant Williams. I think that the Celtics have built a good team. I love their turnaround this season. How they turned around after having the losing record before January, and then they ended up with the second seed in the East. And then now, what a thriller series they had against Miami. And I think that they've shown they can just beat about anyone. But yeah, I'm a huge Jalen Brown fan. Love everyone on the Celtics, and so I'm rooting for them to win the finals. And I think that they will win the finals in 7 games.
All right, I'll take this real quick, Jay. You said you love everyone on the Celtics. I'm like the Anakin Skywalker of the Celtics, Jay. You know why? Because I used to be a Celtics fan, but nope. I'm a Sixers fan because I realized when I was a kid, I liked the Celtics because their colors were green. For those of you who don't know or who have watched the show, I was an idiot, a mere child. But at the end of the day, I really do like this Celtics team. I like the players, but I can't like them at the same time, so I hate them as a result of it. At the end of the day, though, I looked up a stat today, and this is where I stand on the finals and who I'm rooting for. The Lakers have been in fucking something ridiculous, 37 finals appearances or something ridiculous like that. And the next team behind them is the Celtics, I believe, at 22 or 21 or something. Anyway, the point is, the Celtics at the end of the day have more championships than the Warriors. So if I'm looking out for legacy of my Sixers, I want the Warriors to win, even though they seem like the not the underdog, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But I'm rooting for Steph Curry. I'm rooting for that legacy. I'm not rooting for the Celtics, even though I think the Celtics have a very good shot because this Warriors team isn't what it used to be. Steph Curry's been carrying them. Jay?
Well, you know who I'm rocking with? Rocking with my guys. My home city, my home state, Golden State, California, not my home city technically, but I'm kind of close. Anyway, point of the story is, yes, I'm from up north, California. I live down south now, and it's kind of funny. Here's something for you guys. Fun fact. This year I was a Los Angeles Rams fan, and then I transitioned to a Chargers fan in the offseason. Everyone knows I'm going to be a Clippers fan next season, but I'm a Warriors fan right now. I'm going to go 2 for 2. I'm going to win I'm going to Super Bowl, win NBA Finals, and then my new team will do the same thing. So let me tell you something. Why do I think the Warriors are going to win? Actually, I thought the Warriors weren't going to make it this far this year because there's no KD. Andrew Wiggins has stepped up and filled that role very nicely, though. But I will say this. the thing I loved about the first Warriors championship run, if you guys remember that, was like no one thought they had a chance to win it. No one thought they were going to beat any of these teams. No one thought they were going to beat LeBron James on top of that. And they somehow came up with a miraculous way of just hitting these crazy threes with Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, making the most ridiculous shots, making the most. That was the biggest Cinderella run championship I probably witnessed. And I think they could do it again. I don't expect the Warriors to beat the Celtics. The Celtics have Al Horford, a great player, Jaylen Brown, one of the best players in the league, Jason Tatum, who's becoming one of the best players in the league. You got Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year, and one of the, in my opinion, one of the best point guards in the league. He's like a souped-up Pat Beverly, in my opinion. They have so many great players on that Celtics team. The Warriors got Curry, Draymond, and Klay. Can they get it done? Andrew Wiggins? I don't know, but I'm going to be excited. And if they somehow pull off this upset and actually beat the Celtics, I'm going to be pretty excited. Let's go Warriors. Just like the first one, unlike the other two where we dominated because we had KD and we were way better than everybody.
But at the end of the day, did either of you guys, I mean, Viv, I'll let you take it first. At the beginning of the season, with all the talk about the Lakers and the Nets and the fucking Sixers and, the Mavericks and the Suns, did anybody see these two teams emerging for a finals appearance? Because I personally did not.
No, I didn't. My final pick was Suns Nets. But so much for that. I mean, yeah, no, I didn't. I thought that. I mean, in the beginning of the year, on paper, the Nets were the best team, and they did have like. I don't know if y'all remember like the Nets James Harden injury in 2021, but they were very, very good. Even without KD, they were very good. Harden had like Harden had like a double on points and assists like every night. On nights he would have a triple double. They would put Harden at point, ran Kyrie off the ball. He was working really, really good. And Harden went down with injury. He came back and they played phenomenal against Boston, KD, Harden, Kyrie. But then Kyrie and Harden goes down again, and he comes back and it's not the same. Kyrie went down, and then this year, like Kyrie and the vaccination stuff, that happened. Harden not looking like himself, and then like they just blew up. It's really, really sad that they didn't even last 1.5. The Brooklyn Big Three didn't last one year. Had they maintained that momentum they had in 2021, I do really think that they could have. They probably could have won ball.
Jay?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I didn't see the Celtics coming only because the Nets I thought were the best team, like Viv said. Second, I thought were the Miami Heat. I thought the Miami Heat for sure would make it if it wasn't for the Nets. And then they choked that. Max Strus, by the way, you suck, man. No one likes you. Please never play in the NBA again. My goodness, man. That was the worst, last two. Anyway, thought the Heat were going to make it. They didn't. Then I probably would have went until the Sixers for sure would have been that third team. You have Embiid, who's a top 2 player in the league, and then you have, of course, the Bucks, who were still have Drew, still have Giannis, returning champions. They lost to the Celtics too. So the Celtics beat the Bucks, they beat the Nets, and they beat the Heat. So they really beat 3 out of 4 of the teams that I thought would make the finals in the East. And out of the West, you don't have AD was hurt all season, Kawhi was hurt all season. Really, the West was wide open for anyone to take it. The Grizzlies, I guess, could have been there, but really the Warriors were the team that just went out there and took advantage of a really weak Western Conference this year.
You're right. And like that experience by Steph Curry provided to be true. And one thing, turning the table now to our next topic, talking about experience, I think that this is fucking hilarious. And I know, Viv, we've been friends now for about a year now, Viv. Viv's going to think that this is hilarious. AD, and this all happened a month ago, but it's just being reported about now. Those who are on TikTok, come through. Link in the bio up for debate. I'm live right now with my 2 awesome co-hosts. But anyway, AD, Aaron Donald, the best player in football. If he leaves the Rams, they're fucked next year. They're not going to be the same team. That's a huge hole. But he's the first athlete to sign with Donda Sports before he signs and goes back to the Rams. He doesn't even have a contract to play next year. Today, I'm pretty sure he said he's fine if he retires. He's quote-unquote at peace. So, I don't know. Viv, I'll let you take this one first because I got a lot of respect for Aaron Donald, but dude, what are you doing? Because associating your name with these two clowns, that's not good for the brand.
Why would you associate your name with Kanye and AD out of all people? What's the idea? What's the idea? Like you coming off a Super Bowl, are you trying to not get another offer ever again? Even if you don't want I think having a good agent does matter in every sport, especially. I mean, football. Something that we have to understand is that sports is a business, and so that like the business side of it is heavily controlled by what agent that you go out and get first. And agents like and if you want to like I don't see why anyone would want to be represented by Kanye West. I just don't. So it doesn't make sense. I mean maybe it's an indication that he doesn't want to leave the Rams, I guess. But I don't. To me,
Yeah.
And one thing too, I just want to let you know, Jay, because you're doing the comments, people from TikTok, if you want me to do your team for the all-time teams, come to the Up for Debate YouTube video, comment that team name throughout the video. Whatever team gets the most comments throughout it. So you literally sit there and go Giants, or Cowboys suck. I'm the worst team in the NFL. My team sucks. Anyway, you can do that whole video, and whatever team gets the most comments, I'll do tomorrow. But sorry about that. But Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, let's go. Leave those comments. This is what I think is going to happen. I think AB is a great. He's going to be a great agent. He's going to have a lot of good advice on how to get his player more notoriety. He's going to get AD more popular. He's going to get his name out there more. Look, you see the picture right here. This is going to be like week 11 when the Rams play. AD is going to be out here shirtless running around the field because his agent told him to do so. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be like, hey, AD, you want to get popular? Take your shirt off, run around, jump up a little bit, and leave the game. So we might see AD doing that. Kanye West, same thing. Kanye West is going to be like, oh, you want to give my guy a $500 million contract like Patrick Mahomes got? No, I don't want it. I need $600 million. I need the highest player playing in the league. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. That confidence, that overconfidence maybe, is what's going to make AD very, very rich in his last years in the NFL and get him really popular. He's going to be a household name. He's going to be just one name under Tom Brady probably now that he's had these agents, you know. So I like it. AD, keep doing your thing. Great signing. Kanye West. I mean, AB is a little crazy at this point because he literally said he hopes his own team loses. And he was like, I hope the Bucks lose. And I'm
look
like,
at his face, dude. You can see the CTE in that look.
Yeah, he is a little crazy. I mean, yeah. But Kanye, shout out, man. He's a genius. So it's a workout.
That's what AV looks like in that pic. Like,
I thought that was AB graphic. That was you?
Huh?
That was you, or was that another AB graphic?
No, that pic was online, and that's a real picture of Kanye West and Antonio Brown bulling boys. And I guess Aaron Donald's a part of it. So maybe this is his plan coming out of the NFL is maybe I go in on a clothing brand because I need a life post-football. I mean, every athlete's got to have one. Look at everybody. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have a charity? Are you going to, start a business? Are you going to start an athlete line like Tom Brady's starting now? Aaron Donald's the fucking GOAT defensive player of this generation. He's going to do something. You better bet. He's going to go start a clothing brand, fucking Kanye West and Antonio Brown. What? I don't know. That's kind of crazy to me, in my opinion, because it's like, dude, you could be doing so. Fucking Tom Brady would probably give you a quarter of his business if you were like, hey, two best athletes in the NFL the past decade. Let's go in on this together. Let's go in on this TBD or something. I don't know. You can come up with a lot of names. TBAD. I don't know. The point is, I'm shocked that he's going in on a business deal with Kanye West and Antonio Brown with clothing that's probably going to end up being sold in Walmart in 5 or 6 years on sale. So it just feels like not a good thing for your brand name to be put on. And somebody said it earlier, one of you two, fire that fucking manager, because what are you doing, dude? And then today, what do you guys think? I'm interested to see, what do you guys think of this? Today, he literally said, quote unquote, I'm at peace if I don't play football anymore. I mean, if I go back and I get another championship, awesome. But if I don't, I'm at peace.
Yeah, I think so. Shout out to Conball Sports real quick. Appreciate you. But also, I think that's fine because AD at the end of the day is now a Super Bowl champion, forever cemented. You know what I'm saying? Greatness, Hall of Fame, everything. He's done it all. Really, what else is there left for AD to really do or prove? He can go ahead and retire now. It doesn't really mean much to him. I think he's going to be happy. It's kind of like these players you see in the NBA and the NFL, they never win a championship, and it's really hard for them to let go. You've seen Tracy McGrady from the Pistons. I think he went on to the Spurs to try to play and win a ring, and he lost in the finals at a really past his prime age. He should have retired a year or two before that. Couldn't win with the Magic, with the Raptors. Happens to a lot of players. So I think now that he's got that ring, he's happy. I think he can retire at this point. I don't even think if he can play the season, I wouldn't be shocked. He's going to play the season, but if he would have decided to retire after the Super Bowl, I would have been completely fine, not shocked. And I can see him playing one more season, kind of a farewell tour last year, this season, and then being done after this season. I could see it as a realistic possibility.
You're on mute, Joel.
Sorry. Thank you. Comball, I meant to say text me, message me. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And I know you're a big content creator on TikTok too. We love your content. So if you want to come on the show sometime, text me. We'll get you on real soon. Maybe even next week. But do appreciate you coming through. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Rams and him. Because if I'm the Rams, I'm like, fuck, we need this guy. We're all in on next year, and having a hole at defensive tackle and the draft's already gone and free agency's already done. We planned on you being here, and now you're not here. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a lack on the Rams' part and kind of dumb on their behalf. That's my opinion. That's all I got to say. Anything else about this? Cool. All right. Moving on to our next topic, which actually is something that I kind of talked about last week when you weren't here, Viv. Jay had to deal with my bullshit last week. But I think it's true now. The Heat lose out, and the yin and the yang need to play together. I've been saying it. And, now there's been a cryptic tweet since Jay and I last talked about it, where Embiid's like, oh, there needs to be a third superstar. These two, I bet, are going to end up playing together at some point in their career. I don't know whether Jimmy's going to come back to Philly or if Embiid's going to go to Miami. I really hope it's the first one, but wasted talent. What do you think, Jay? We talked about it last week.
No, I agree. I agree 1,000% after watching Game 7 and watching Max Strus throw up bricks. And then when he finally makes one, he steps out of bounds like an idiot. It didn't even look like he stepped out of bounds that hard, but come on, man. Don't even make it close. And it's coming from a Cali guy. The refs are always trying to make the Lakers and the Celtics win games and trying to get them in the finals. And Dalt pointed to it earlier. They win a lot. They go to the finals a lot because of it. Max Strus, you suck. Everyone on that team, Bam Adebayo disappears a lot. And even though he's a great player, he disappears a lot. Kyle Lowry's not who he used to be. He's not championship Kyle Lowry like he was back in the Raptors days with Kawhi Leonard. Plus, there's no one else like Kawhi Leonard out there to team up with if you're Kyle Lowry. So really, who did Jimmy Butler have to help him out there? I didn't see any help from Jimmy Butler. For Jimmy Butler. On that Heat team, he kind of did himself 50 points Game 6, and I dropped another crazy 30-plus point game, I believe, in Game 7. Anyway, if Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid teamed up, I feel like that would have been in the finals for the Eastern Conference, whether it be Miami or it be Philly, because, they need some help out there. Embiid had Harden, but Harden is known to kind of fold under the pressure from what it looks like from his career. Can't really make a championship run. So you got Embiid and you got Jimmy Butler, two guys who really ball and really didn't have too much help this year, especially Jimmy Butler. I think you match him up. Take him to Philly, dog, or take him to Miami, because I don't know if Jimmy wants to go back to Philly. I'm not sure. I think you touched on that, but let me know.
Send Harden to Miami. Started. What do you think, Viv?
If you said Harden to Miami, he would be spending more time at the strip clubs rather than at practice. But anyway, that's another subject altogether. I do think that Jimmy Butler does need. He just don't. Fundamentally, the reason that I picked the Celtics is that, and this is in truth, that he just fundamentally don't have enough scorers. They have shooters, but they don't have scorers. They don't have guys who get the ball in their hand and they will score. They don't have good shot creation. They don't have exactly because you can't really rely on Duncan. This is why he didn't get hit, because Duncan Robinson can't create his own shot. Jimmy Butler is the only reliable. Victor Oladipo can't create shots like he did in Indiana. Tyler Hero is not a reliable shot. Lowry's not a reliable shot. Jimmy Butler is really more of a one that can create his own shot. So therefore, if you don't have as many scores now, and compared Embiid up with Butler, regardless of what they're on Miami or wherever they are, they've got two good shot shock breeder. So he's an elite scorer, Butler's a very good scorer. And so I think that's something that'll work out really well. Don't know how much will work out, but I think that seeing the two of them back together would make any team really, really flourish, given the right depth and the right bench pieces around them. Now, I don't think Philly going back to Philly would work out for them. The money and stuff kind of sucks. Moving Tobias Harris would be a pain. You would also, because the fact that they already paid Ben Simmons, the Ben Simmons extension from a while back, and then they took on the Harden contract, and they overpaid Tobias Harris. Those contracts are biting them in the ass, so to speak, because they can't sign. They can't sign or trade for good names. Same thing for Miami. Miami has a little money problem because they don't have to pay guys the same amount of hours, pay Tyler Freeman, pay them. So yeah, but I would love to see it through. I think that would be such a lot.
It feels like from a Philly fan perspective too, it feels like Butler maybe might say, damn, I shouldn't have left Philadelphia. Because, yes, Brett Brown was a fucking idiot. And yes, Ben Simmons was a baby. But if you could have weathered that storm, and it would have been right now that even you could have gotten less for Simmons then. You didn't need Harden then if you had Butler and you had Maxey. Could you... Oh my God, that just would have been such a really, really good combination, and that would have been my lock to go to the finals. Embiid could have rested. They probably would have been able to keep AD, Drummond, if they didn't have to. I think that they could have kept Drummond, and they wouldn't have had to give him up to the Nets because the pressure wasn't on them as much to get rid of Simmons and get somebody back like Harden. They probably could have kept him and just dealt him away. So personally, I really think in a parallel universe, the Sixers are holding up the trophy this year. This is their year with Butler and Embiid, if it didn't happen already. But we'll see. I mean, a man can dream, but it's something we're going to talk about it on 302 Birds this week. What's up?
He wasn't wrong.
Oh no! When Dalt said this is our year, even I know what he meant, but when he just said it after they were eliminated, it reminded me of Cowboys fans. But that's
in a parallel universe. This is our year. That's even worse than a Cowboys fan.
Hey, shout out! I want to shout out on our TikTok. Shout out to Round Sports. He said Max Strus biggest L in NBA history or something like that. And man, I'm not over this Max Strus stuff, man. That stuff really frustrated me because how do you do that? Oh my gosh, man, the Celtics were gifted that finals. It's terrible.
Hey, I'll let you take this one first, Jay, because I guess you're technically the closest to Vegas, but the Raiders are potentially talking about bringing back Colin Kaepernick. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, according to my TikTok, the Raiders are technically the LA's team, supposedly. And I heard it goes Raiders, Chargers, Rams as far as the LA hierarchy of football teams go. But anyway, we can talk about that on TikTok later. But Kaepernick, man, I love Kaepernick. I relate to him a lot. If you guys see his show on Netflix, man, I relate to his upbringing. Was very similar to mine. He kind of went through a lot of the same struggles, being a brown brother, you know what I'm saying, in California. But I will say this, though. Football-wise, when he was gone, I think it's great what he did, charity, doing his charity. I think he's got to keep doing that. Football, I'm not too sure if the NFL is a place for him. But if there is a place for him, I think this is a perfect fit. I think Vegas is the perfect fit for him. Why? Because he's playing for the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders culture is amazing. I think he's going to fit right into the Raiders culture. Marcus Mariota, RPOs last season, what he did as the backup for Derek Carr, I think Kaepernick fits in that perfectly. I think Kaepernick can do a bunch of RPO plays, get some rushing touchdowns, and you know what I'm saying, the red zone, throw some passes when he needs to. I think this is a good fit for Colin Kaepernick. I'd be really happy to see him play for the Raiders because I think he found a system that will fit in a place that's a perfect home for him. So I'm all for it. I'd love to see him in Las Vegas this coming season.
If he goes there, it's going to be a ton of fun to see, I think, because I think that if there's one team that he fits into in the culture and where he would be able to come back, and I think that one thing too, and I don't want to get political, but it's going to be tough for him to come back. Wherever he goes to, there's going to be fans one side saying that I don't want him here, I don't agree with him politically, whatever. And then on the other side, there's going to be the people that agree with him. I think if there's any fan base that can tolerate or take this guy coming back, it's the Raiders. The Raiders are a very, very accepting fan base. No matter what a lot of people say, Mark Davis is a very, very accepting guy, I think. Is creepy and is like Chucky looking as this motherfucker may be. I think that they have a good culture there, like Jay's saying. And that's his rival team. So that's a lot of respect coming from there. I think his comeback could be hit or miss. I think we're really going to see how long hasn't he played football since 2016 or whatever? I think we're really going to see what that will look like, because it could be rough. It could be really bad. Like when Tim Tebow came back to the Eagles, and obviously I'm an Eagles fan, this might be why, but a lot of people were like, oh shit, Tim Tebow, he's probably still got it. He's going to come out there. It was not pretty. So this could be something too. Don't get your hopes up, a lot of Raiders fans, where he comes back and he plays throughout the preseason and they're like, actually, we don't want this guy cut, because the NFL is a business like that. So, I mean, I think it's good to see that NFL teams are giving him a chance, but he's got an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, I do really, really love the fact that he's given a chance. I think that he deserves more chance. He stood up for what's right. I mean, he's done a lot of great things for the community. I think that it's like I think that everything that he has, all the bullshit taken has been kind of unfair. And yeah, I know you made the point like, oh yeah, people might be doing politics or views or whatever, but I think sports-wise, it's not a bad backup to have. The Raiders used to have who was it, Marcus Mariota. Derek Carr gets injured, and I mean, Derek Carr's generally been pretty healthy, but there'll always be. I feel like every season there's been like one game where he's gotten like hurt. I feel like Cap is like a guy just like plug in, and he'll predicate your offense throughout the one game, and then just be like serviceable enough. Where I mean, he can't be worse than Marcus Mariota, and so I think that he'll like predicate your offense well enough to maintain stability, so to speak, when Derek Carr is gone, or in case of that. So I think there's a backup of it. But yeah, I think it's really, really cool to see him being.
It is good to see, like you pointed out. We'll see what happens there. Moving on now to our next topic. We have been talking about each division and what we think will happen in each division a little bit. Talking about the AFC North now. And some people are going to say, Dalton, you're very disrespectful with this graphic. You didn't include the team that just went to the Super Bowl. What are you doing, bro? They're in the bottom there. They're there. I didn't include the Steelers because there's no way in hell that they're making it out of this division. But I put the team on the right there because I think that Vib would agree with me. They're arguably there with that squad that they built. Maybe Jay won't, but Vib will. So I'll let Vib take this one first. Who's going to win the AFC North in your opinion, Vib?
That's a good question. I mean, that is very, very tough. If we're looking at it from like a provenness standpoint, of like, okay, you know what? Who will win the AFC North based on, okay, this is the evidence that we have that, or like evidence as in like stuff from like past seasons, how like fashion fit and how teams are just run, then it would be the Ravens. But if I think the Browns on paper could be more talented, or as if not more talented than the Ravens. So I think that Browns versus Ravens this year will be more interesting than it was last year. The Browns definitely have the best quarterback and running back. But I'm excited to see how Rashad Bateman breaks out. I'm excited to see the Ravens defense. They're getting Marcus Peters back healthy. I'm also excited to see how Deshaun Watson helps with the Browns offensive having the chance to facilitate the offense better. Now you have a quarterback who is like a handicap to your offense. He can throw after the plays. So be able to open up the plays. That's how they do that. Bengals, I do think, also still have a chance. So I think that between the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals, it's anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jay?
let's talk about these Browns. Let's talk about these Browns that not too long ago, I think, had a winless season. They had like a 1-win season or something like that. Broke all the records for losing the most games possible. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Then they bring on a quarterback who won 4 games his last time, and that was not last year. That was 2 years ago when he even touched a football in the NFL. So now we have a quarterback that's unproven. We haven't seen nothing from him. Won 4 games last time he was there, which was a long time ago, on a team that historically is really bad. Probably one of the worst teams historically of all time, really. Winless season, 1-win season. Didn't make the playoffs last year. I don't understand. The Browns have no shot at winning this division at all. The Bengals have a shot because they were just in the Super Bowl, and I think the Ravens are the favorite, in my opinion, to win it. I'm going to take the Ravens to win the North. I think it's going to be really close to the Ravens and the Bengals, just because Lamar Jackson's going to be healthy. Something we maybe some people forgot, but Lamar Jackson was not healthy for a lot of the last season. If he was healthy, the Bengals, I don't know what's happening to the Bengals. I think the Ravens win the division last year and make a run if Lamar Jackson's healthy. So, yeah, I got to say, Lamar Jackson being healthy, they're going to win the division. The Bengals will be a very, very close second, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Browns will be where they always are, the bottom of the barrel, as always.
They're going to be butt cheek. No, I'm just kidding. For me, all 4 teams can possibly go to the playoffs, and I wouldn't be shocked from this division because Mike Tomlin is that good of a coach in the NFL. I think Mike Tomlin is the second best coach in the NFL. But personally, looking at the Ravens and what they've done, Linderbaum, Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, they already have Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey and Patrick Queen and Calais Campbell. And I could keep going on and on about all the great players on the Ravens defense. It feels like they maybe made a couple key upgrades on the offense, definitely on the line. They still got Mark Andrews. Rashad Bateman should be able to play this year. They get rid of Marquise Brown. And they go out and they got another receiver. I forget who it was. But anyway, the point is, I think that the Ravens should be looked at as the favorite in this division, and Lamar Jackson should take that step up. The Ravens were a very good team last year, and they lost a lot of games because their dumbass coach. And I think John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He just had a bad season last year, and luck didn't go their way. As far as the Browns go, I think that the Browns should be the clear-cut favorite for second. Deshaun Watson will be coming off a lot in this past offseason mentally. He's going to be in a new city and a new system. They're going to be figuring him out as much as he's going to be figuring them out. So the Browns, I don't think, are my favorite. And I do really like the Bengals. I just think that the Bengals are such a young team. It's going to be really, really hard for them to repeat what they just did in a division as fierce and as competitive as the AFC North. And like you guys have said, you know, look at history. The Bengals had a great season this year. Jamar Chase burst out on the scene. I think that a lot of teams are going to be like, okay, what's the Bengals' bread and butter? It's Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow. So if you can shut down those 3 teams, you might be solid. And we'll kick it now to our guest. Welcome, Mr. Robson, back on the show. Who you got winning the North, baby?
Who I got winning the North? It's neither of these 2 teams on here. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals to repeat.
Hey, they're there. Look
AFC
on the bottom.
North champions. Are they on the bottom? Oh, I see Joe Burrow's head popping out there. My bad. He's poking out there. But I'm going to give it to them. I think there's no room but to go up from here. They improved the offensive line. They improved the defense. Joe Burrow's entering another year. You get Jamar Chase back, of course. You still have, in my opinion, one of the deepest wide receiver cores in the NFL. Now, I know they lost tight end C.J. Uzomah in free agency, but I think Joe Burrow is good enough to make up for that kind of loss. I think the Bengals are going to be legitimate Super Bowl contenders next year. And if you ask me, if I would say the Bengals were Super Bowl contenders in 2022, let alone last year, I would have slapped you right across the face because it is absolutely absurd. I was on this show when I said in the AFC Championship that the Bengals had no shot in the world at being a Super Bowl team. And sure enough, Joe Burrow continues to do what he's done the entire time of him being in any kind of media coverage level and prove me wrong. I doubted him in the draft process. I doubted him when he coming back from injury. And now here we are. I'm finally buying into the Cincinnati Bengals hype.
Dude, we told you. That's all I'm saying with Jay. I'm off the train. No, wait. Let's flashback. I was on the train. You're off the train. I hop off the train. You hop on the train. I don't know. Is he crazy? Is he drunk? Is he doing crack right now, Jay?
Are you
Hey, that's my
smoking?
line. That's my line.
What in the Blue Devil hell are you smoking over there, Robson?
Oh my god! If you're gonna say my line, steal my flow, do it right. Come on
I
now.
can't do it right. You gotta do it, Robson.
No, I haven't had to say it yet. I'm sure you're gonna
Well,
give me plenty of
Here we
ability
go.
to say
No,
it
this
today.
is what I want to do. This is what I want to do because I want to Dalt said Mike Tomlin. He is a good head coach. I've always loved Mike Tomlin. But what have the Steelers done like the past ever? Like since I've been watching football, the Steelers always suck. The Browns have
They
always
literally like went to like 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
Didn't they play the Super Bowl against the Seahawks when the Seahawks beat them? And then I know that they won the Super Bowl against the Cardinals.
Yeah,
They
they probably beat the Cardinals. That's
they
how
beat-
bad it is. You beat the
They
Cardinals.
beat
never
the
even won.
Seahawks. They beat the Seahawks.
They beat.
Yeah, that was forever ago. But all I'm saying is that look, I'm gonna rank. I think we should all rank our AFC North predictions. I'm going Ravens 1. I'm going Bengals 2. The sorry Steelers with Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky, who I like both of them, I think will be 3, and then of course the garbage Browns will be 4, as always. But that's where I'm going. Where you guys going with the AFC
Robson,
predictions?
I'm thinking the first place will go to the Cincinnati Bengals. Second place is really a toss, but if Deshaun Watson is playing like I assume he will, I give them second place. Third place, I give the Ravens. And fourth place, I give the Pittsburgh Steelers.
ooh, bib.
1 Ravens, 2 Browns, 3 Bengals, 4 Steelers.
All right, this is gonna sound crazy. Number 1, Ravens. Number 2, Bengals. Number 3, Browns. Number 4, Steelers. I'm not falling victim to the dumbass Browns again.
That was
Robson
the
and
only
Jay know
same
what I'm
take
talking
that
about.
any of y'all had in this whole segment. I'll say that. But we all had different takes, so I like it. We all had different predictions. I like it. But that was the only same one. Don't put the Browns in the top 2, Robson. They didn't win a game a few years ago. Deshaun Watson.
But they have Deshaun Watson and a loaded offense. Like Baker Mayfield isn't here anymore, ladies and gentlemen. They have a competent quarterback now.
You got Darcy and Baker Mayfield out there this season.
If you look, I don't know if you guys follow Fanline Sports on TikTok, but he made a list of the top 10 worst quarterback games in 2021. And Baker Mayfield was literally like 6 of them. He's so bad.
He's really bad.
Baker should have done a lot more with the tools he had. But it's over now. He's a bust. Let's move on.
And talking about moving on, I mean, they could even be moving on to somebody who's been playing in the NFL when Baker was probably still in fucking high school. Cam Newton, baby. Is it time for him to call it a career? Can he go back somewhere? What do you think?
I think it's tough because Cam Newton was such a core part of my youth. As many of you know, I'm a huge college football fan. Absolutely adored Cam Newton in college. Loved him in the pros. I'm a huge Cam Newton guy. But let's be real here. That arm is shot. He is getting old. But whenever that shoulder injury happened his final year in Carolina, it really just ended it for me. And really ended it for Cam Newton, in my opinion. I still think he has a place in the NFL as a backup. I think the starting period for him is out the window, barring a team injury, like a star quarterback getting hurt. But personally, I think Cam Newton should become kind of this mentor. He has seen a lot. He has done a lot. He has played in the Super Bowl. He is a former MVP. He's one of the most dynamically dominant players we have ever seen in the history of the NFL. When his period, when he was at his peak, there was not a single defensive coordinator, defensive player, or game planner in general that could form a game plan to stop Cam Newton. So I think he has his place in the NFL as a backup. But sadly, calling it a career, I'm not there yet. But I do have to say, I think Cam Newton's career as a starting quarterback at the National Football League level is sadly over.
I kind of disagree. I think it's time for him to call it a career as a whole. I do like your idea of him coming in as a backup and a mentor, but I don't think that he can do that. I don't think that Cam has that mindset. Cam is an alpha kind of guy. When he comes in, he's got to be able to take over the offense. That's why I think the Patriots partly got rid of him when they got Mac Jones, is not because they wanted to get rid of him, because Cam Newton's an athlete. I think he still has a little bit left in the tank, and I'll get to that in a second. But Cam Newton's an alpha guy, and Mac Jones and Cam Newton both being in that locker room, I don't think was a good look for young Mac Jones. That's my personal opinion. You can agree or disagree. But I think just at this point, the NFL is what I call a QB surplus right now. There's too many QBs right now, and people are like, wait, but Sam Darnold's still a quarterback. Well, Baker Mayfield's still a backup. Whether your team decides to go out and make a trade if your QB's Drew Lock or somebody like that, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, with the QB surplus we're going through, Cam Newton is the least of all of these teams' worries. No team is going out of their way going, oh, I should go out of my way to go get Cam Newton. So unfortunately, I think that his time's over. I personally think that the Eagles should potentially look at Cam Newton for a backup for Jalen Hurts because he could fit that offense potentially. But I'm crazy. And we'll go over that on 302 Birds this week because that's actually a topic we're going to talk about. But at the end of the day, I don't know because at the end, like what I said, alpha personality, could that work out with Jalen Hurts? I think it's time for him to call it a career, long story short. Jay?
Yeah, well, dog, you said something that I'll touch on a little bit, but I will say this. We're talking about Colin Kaepernick and his role that, fit perfect in Vegas. Las Vegas, the city, may not accept Colin Kaepernick. That's the thing we're unsure about. Las Vegas, like, they're climbing with everything. I know you guys touched on a little bit. Unfortunately, it's a little like there's politics behind that. As a player, I think he fits perfectly as the back of his style. You know who fits better, who's a better quarterback, who's a better runner, and who the city of Las Vegas would love to bring on? Cam Newton. Why can't he be the same Marcus Mariota, RPO, backup quarterback to Derek Carr in Las Vegas? I think that'd be perfect. I mean, that's the ultimate player that you'd have in that position. Now, I think he's better than just that. But like you said, a lot of quarterbacks out there, not really enough spots for him to take a starting quarterback role at this point in his career. So why not? I think that'd be great on a really good Raiders team. I think they're competing for a Super Bowl this year as well in the AFC West. But I did want to touch on this. Put some respect on Drew Lock's name, man. Drew Lock, that guy, what do they call him? Lockamania is running wild. You know what I'm saying? Gotta put some respect on Drew Lock. He might take the Seahawks to the conference championship this year. I think they have a chance.
Oh my God!
There it is, Robson. Go ahead and say it.
What in the blue hell are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Drew Lock leading the Seahawks to the damn conference. I don't even want to address that.
Someone on here, I don't know who it was, but someone on here said Deshaun Watson and the Browns might win the division or something like that.
Probably me.
He's a lot better than Deshaun Watson. I'll give you that.
Yeah, what?
Oh my God.
I can't with you sometimes. I swear to God, I can't with you sometimes. It's like you do it on purpose because you know it winds me up.
Drew Lock, come on, Drew Lock he's not bad. That division's not as good as they used to be. The Cardinals are falling off.
Teddy Bridgewater started over that bum.
Hey, whatever you getting in California, pass that shit, please.
Yes.
What do you
Hey,
think, Bib? Is it time to call it a career for Cam?
Yes, it is time to call it a career from Cam. You had a good run, but I think at this point he's just like he's just too injury prone. The injuries have also messed with his throwing motion, his mobility, his overall pocket presence, stuff like that. It's not that he's I just think that this is natural regression and that that it's time, that his time's up. So I think he can retire a Panther, and he's done a lot in his career, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's
Now
gonna
I
be
have
sad.
to ask though: does anyone here think I'm not one that thinks this, but does anyone here think for some reason that Cam would be a Hall of Famer?
Now,
Okay, good.
I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think that he was a generational player for what he did, but he's a dime a dozen in a way because he was like really what Jamarcus Russell was supposed to be at his best. I mean, honestly, right?
I agree.
I think,
and that wasn't very good, is what we saw. One season it was good. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Robson?
Wasn't me. I think Jay won the session.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I could see Cam Newton making the Hall of Fame when he's like 75 or 80 or something like that, or like just really, really old, and people kind of don't even know who he is anymore. Like,
There's gonna be too many good players by then. He'll never make.
He'll fade into non-existence by that point.
Unfortunately, dang. Sorry, Cam. Tried to get you in there. It didn't work.
All right, gentlemen. Our last and main event topic. This is why we brought our special guest on the show, Mr. Robson. Zach Wilson has no excuses. I was thinking about it today. They go out, they get Elijah Moore last year, Vera Tucker last year, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. I love that pick. And I'm forgetting the name of the tight end, but he went to college with Wilson, right?
Jeremy Ruckert.
Yeah. So, you guys got weapons. No excuses. What do you think?
I think Zach Wilson, that's what Joe Douglas is doing and trying to do. He's trying to build this team the way that Mike McCagnon failed to with Sam Darnold, giving the quarterback zero excuses to fail. Zach Wilson now, in my opinion, when healthy, has a good offensive line, has 4 really solid weapons: Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, and you also now have Garrett Wilson. He has 3 starting caliber tight ends and Jeremy Ruckert, Tyler Conklin, and CJ Uzama, who I mentioned earlier. He has a second year under Mike LaFleur. He has all the tools necessary. Zach Wilson does not have to take this absolutely astronomical leap into top 5. That is not what's necessary for me to be worried if I'm a Jets fan. The leap does have to be more than the average year 2 leap, though. In my opinion, Zach Wilson statistically, where he failed this year, he was a bottom 5 quarterback in terms of stats. I think he has to be in the middle of the road, between top 15 to top 20, and I think that shows not only us Jet fans and us guys like me that believed in Zach Wilson through the draft process, but it shows the league and Joe Douglas that, hey, we have our franchise quarterback finally. We have a guy that has shown he can do it when things are down, when the chips are down, we give him the tools, he can make things happen. That is what Zach Wilson needs to do. And this is the worst possible draft class for Zach Wilson to play poorly. You have Bryce Young out of Alabama. You have C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. You have Anthony Richardson out of Florida. You have Will Levis out of Kentucky. You have 4 quarterbacks that could all 4 be potential franchise guys with these weapons. If Zach Wilson does not step up and make an adjustment in a big leap, not an astronomical one, but a big leap above the average, then there may be some real concerns. But personally, I feel fine. I think Zach Wilson, who has beefed up a lot in the offseason, he looks bigger, he looks stronger, he looks more accurate so far during OTAs. I think he will have all the tools available to him and the talent and work ethic there to where he can make that kind of a leap.
I think you're exactly right. As a true fan, you hit the nail on the head. I'll let Vib take it next.
I do expect a sophomore league. I expect a sophomore league from a lot of people, and Zach Wilson's one of them. I like him a lot in the draft. I like him a lot in the preseason. I do think that his first year is just rough. I mean, it's the Jets, what people really expect, but I like the talent they've surrounded him with. If that pans out, I expect to take second as we've seen with a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, Peyton Manning had a terrible first year, remember? I can name. I don't think Matthew Stafford definitely had a great first year, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody please fact check me on that. But and like quarterbacks have like not great rookie years all the time. It's really, really situation based. And I always say like winning is a team stat, but I do think that Zach Wilson I think that he showed more potential than is apparent by his top scores, and so I expect a big sophomore. I think I expect the biggest sophomore league from him after the summer.
There's a lot of pressure on him at a young age. I mean, like Robson said, you have all the tools around you. There are no excuses not to succeed. At the end of the day, though, that defense too. Like, there's none of these defensive guys. He's built, like, they're built that if he has an astronomical leap, not a big one, if he just has an astronomical one like Justin Herbert did, that they're built that they could go deep in the playoffs. I mean, that division, they could, if they end up being a wild card team, they could get 1 or 2 playoff wins, which I think is deep for the playoff contention, especially for the Jets. I mean, they're going to be thrilled if they just make the playoffs. I would be too. But I really, really like Zach Wilson, and I didn't know that he beefed up. So hearing that gives me reassurance just as an NFL fan. Jay?
So I had an experiment actually today before I hopped on, which is pretty fun. I did this franchise mode with the Chargers where I only threw to linebackers. So Justin Herbert had like 500 yards, and they were all linebackers receiving yards for touchdowns, 50 to something, right? So I was like, that was too easy. Next thing I did was I'm going to try to win a Super Bowl with the Jets. So I did that. First game, 7 pick sixes by Zach Wilson. I think they lose like 72-7. They had 1 rushing touchdown. It was embarrassing. So with that being said, the Jets are just the Jets. Like, I am not going to be surprised if they have another 5-win season and don't make the playoffs. I won't be surprised if they win 2-3 games this season. I mean, don't get me wrong, Robson, I'm hoping that they make the playoffs. I'm hoping that they win the division. I'm hoping that they do all these things. But I just don't really see it happening. Like, 'cause who's in that division, Robson? If I'm not mistaken, it's the Patriots and the Dolphins. I mean, yeah, Patriots, Dolphins, and the Bills, right? I don't see them beating those teams out and winning the division, no matter who they got on the field. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're better than Josh Allen, the Bills. They're not better than Tua and Tyreek Hill. Sorry, no excuses. I think that is an excuse. You're in a tough division and you're not that great of a team. So yeah, I mean, don't be wrong. I think they're gonna be a lot better. They're gonna be exciting to watch, and I hope that they can win the division. But I don't see it, Robson. Sorry, man.
Well, I don't think winning the division is in the cards yet because this is still very early in this process. But let me just say something right now. I want to say, so the Bills, I'm not going to debate. In my opinion, the Bills are the best team in football all around built right now. Like they have the franchise quarterback. They have a superstar wide receiver. They have a great coach. They have an incredible defense. I don't care what anybody says. Their defense is good. It's just Tre'Davious White in that secondary sometime left on an island. Now they get Kyer Elam to help with that. So they're going to be fine. Dolphins, I am not sold on at all. People are overhyping this Tyreek Hill accusation because Tua is not going to get it done with him. Little underneath stuff is not going to be winning games in the NFL. With the defenses that fly around like they do, underneath stuff isn't going to work that as well as they think it will. You have to hit the deep ball. Tua can't do that. And don't even get me started on the Patriots, who took freaking Cole Strange, a third-round pick ranking out of Chattanooga in the first round, then went around and got that wide receiver.
He'll be a Pro Bowler next year.
Even that wide receiver from Baylor that they got was the fifth best on the board at that time. The Jets could easily sweep the Patriots this year. I think the Jets roster is far more talented than the Patriots, in my opinion. I think Zach Wilson has a higher ceiling than Mac Jones. I think they have a better running back core. I think they have a better receiving core by a mile. I think they have a better secondary with Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Bryce Hall, and Michael Carter II. They have the roster to compete with the Patriots. Now, the Dolphins have given them some issues. I will admit that. So I will kind of say they could probably split with that. I think they get swept by the Bills. But this team, you said the same old Jets. It's not anymore. This is not Mike McCagnon running this team. Joe Douglas is doing an incredible job building out this roster. The Jets offense at the end of the 2020 season was led by Sam Darnold, the corpse of Frank Gore at running back, Jermaine Kearse, Brashad Perryman, these no-name wide receivers, and no tight ends whatsoever. If you look at that offense then versus the offense that the Jets are putting out now, it is night and day. This team has the tools around it. But I think we all can agree there is only one piece of this roster that is a question mark, and it is the quarterback. Zach Wilson has to be the guy. He has to make that leap. He has to make the jump for this to work. If he fails, then it's going to be kind of, you know what? The Jets picked the wrong quarterback. It may be that. But if he succeeds even in the slightest, this should show that the New York Jets are on the rise and have a really good shot at being something big time in the future if Zach Wilson continues to grow.
Robson, I'm gonna tell you something. That whole speech, you just changed my mind with that speech. Like you completely changed, honestly, he changed my mind. I now think the Jets are gonna finish last in that division. I thought second or third before. Now you convinced me they're finishing last. You're right. The Tyreek Hill and Tua. That whole Bill Belichick, the Patriots, I kind of forgot about that. They're finishing. I thought at first because Dalton was saying that they're going to win the division and make it to the second round of the playoffs, possibly. He didn't say for sure, but he said it's possible. I'm like, they're not doing that for sure, in my opinion. The Bills are going to win the division. But now you got me thinking they're going to finish last. Now you officially got me thinking they're finishing last in that division, behind Bill Belichick and behind.
I still think that the Jets are finishing last. No offense, Robson, but they'll be decent. They won't be like terrible last, but they will be last, I think.
I got you, Robson. I think that they're going to finish second. I think that the Jets are going to be a very good team next year. So I'm rocking with you. But guys, that's all we got for you tonight. I do want to thank our special guest, Mr. Alex Robson, for coming on the show tonight. We'll try to get him on more often as the season rolls around and hopefully as the Jets become a better team so we have more to talk about with the Jets.
You all ain't ready for that moment. When the Jets are actually good, I'm going to be the most intolerable son of a bitch on the world. I'm just telling you all right now.
We're going to get on TikTok then. We're going to go
viral.
We're
going to be doing the show in 60 years?
Oh, yeah, we'll be doing
it. Okay, yeah, Robson, I'll be ready for it. I'll be ready for your outrageousness.
I'm younger than both of you, so I'll for sure be doing it in 60 years.
I can't wait to see Jay's takes in 60 years. I remember when I told you that Deshaun Watson was ass.